Hello and welcome back to the return of Saltwater Gaming. I am Ellison Smith. It has been a very, very long while since I've done an episode. So for those that have actually followed along with the series, or for those that are new to it, congratulations, we're back. And we're going to be producing content again on a hopefully regular basis. Trying to be at least semi-regular. So I do apologize for the lack of content in the past multiple weeks. I recently picked up my life and completely moved to another location. I'm now in Florida instead of South Carolina, and enjoying every day. But we're not here to talk about what's going on in the Sunshine State. We're here to talk about gaming reviews. And the one on tap this week is a relatively kind of recent hit. It's been out for a little while, and it's picked up at Steam, and now it's kind of slowing down. But it's still relevant. So, today we're going to be going over Monster Hunter World. Now, if you have not checked out the Monster Hunter franchise, it is one of the big Japanese RPGs franchises, and it's kind of simplified. Like, a lot of the fandoms are going to be like, oh, but there's so much lore and everything, but all you really do is you go and you fight these beautifully rendered, if I may add, monsters, and you harvest them for parts, and you kill all these little monsters, and you harvest them for parts. It's basically organ harvesting, but on a much grander scale when you're fighting dragon the size of the mountain, or the dragon the size of a continent. It's organ harvesting on a larger scale. So Monster Hunter World is the latest to come out of this wonderful, wonderful franchise, and you are in this place called the New World. So, there's still, from what I've read, monsters that show up in, quote-unquote, the old world, which is where the previous monster games have happened. And you're facing a bunch of different challenges and a bunch of different beasts that are all terrifying in their own way and all a challenge in their own way. I've played it for a while, and it's okay. The environment is absolutely gorgeous. You can pick up herbs and item materials and craft all these different things, and it's the pinnacle of an RPG. You know, there's crafting, there's supply management, there's experience, there's grinding. There's so much grinding. This game, you will spend so much time grinding on this game. It's like going to Vegas and going to certain parts of Vegas. There's a lot of grinding involved there. But that's the only way you can get good at this game, is by grinding and going on all these tedious quests and collecting all these different scales and bones and horns and all these other little items that are all have different drop rates, so you have to replay certain things and hop online and play with your friends, and yeah, it's an incredible challenge. It's a very big challenge. Again, the game is beautifully rendered. You can go to all these different environments and hunt, and even then, the environments have like subspecies. Like there's a jungle with a swamp, and you can go up into the treetops and fight this like electric ferret lizard in the treetops, and it's incredibly detailed, and it's the graphics on the place. I'm using the PlayStation 4, hoping to get a PS Pro eventually, but the graphics that I have seen on a PS Pro are astounding and almost mind-boggling. You feel very much a part of this new world, and you feel like you want to jump into these jungles and chase these beasts and get knocked around a lot, because that's what's going to happen. You are going to die, and that's a part of it. It's not as bad as say, Bloodborne or any of the Souls franchises. But dodging is key. Dodging is very much key in these fights. Now, while the game is absolutely pretty, it is, after a while, incredible. So the hard part of this review is this. At current pricing, the game is $60. Honestly, I don't think it needs to be $60. And while I do enjoy it, I regret paying $60 for the full title. So, here's why. And this is all coming from a general layman's explanation. So for anyone wanting, I want the mechanics detailed. You're not going to get that. Just I'm a normal dude who does reviews. Just let it go. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to have as much fun with this game unless you have friends that also bought this game. Like, this is not a solo game. This isn't a solo adventure. It starts out that way, but it doesn't work. It doesn't flow as well if you're just doing this by yourself and grinding constantly. You get, I want to say, better drop rates and better rewards if you team up with a friend or team up with a party and go after these things. But I have played it solo, and I find myself just kind of stopping after a point, like after 20 minutes, after one mission. I don't enjoy it, and then I go and play, not like Stardew Valley or Telltale Batman or something like that, and I enjoy that much more than I do Monster Hunter New World. But when a friend gets on, time disappears. Because I'm in the headset, we're having conversations where we're dodging all over the place and trying to get the critical spots on this monster, and it's very much one of those co-op games. It's very much a co-op hunter game. And while I'm not saying you can't do everything on your own, like, you can lone wolf this. You can really do that. It's just not as enjoyable, and it's a little bit more challenging. And you're going to have to do these missions and these side quests and these bounties all by yourself, and it just gets so repetitive. This game is the very definition of tedious. Just so you can get any kind of better equipment, you have to craft you have to work a very difficult crafting tree. And to get the good stuff, sometimes it just doesn't seem worth it. Just find something you can work with and use that. But I can understand people going in and grinding and trying for the sword that has fire damage in it and everything else, but it's just so tedious. So, in total, Monster Hunter World, it's not a bad game. It's not. It's still $60, and I can see why it's $60, because it's next gen. It's very pretty. It's the control scheme flows very well if you can, figure out how to use your weapon and figure out the timing and the attacks that are coming from the monsters. And if you just enjoy the series, you'll love it regardless. But if you just enjoy a good RPG about hunting giant things that will stomp on you and eat you in a heartbeat, this very much is a fitting title for you. But for those of us wanting a little bit more of a story-driven game, this is a rent. This is very much a rental game. Now, that being said, I can respect this franchise because I have enjoyed what I've done with my friends online, and I'm glad that that Monster Hunter has been one of those games where it kind of was one of the big ones where you and your friends could both play on the same time. Like, that was a big thing with it in the previous games. And with this one, I can see why. Because their servers aren't crashing, like, half the time. You get good communication between your parties if you are teaming up with friends. If you're teaming up with strangers, you might be getting another English speaker, and then I've gotten an entire team of Japanese students, which was fun. And they knew English, so there was conversation, but they would also be communicating in Japanese, so I would ask, what does, so-and-so mean, and they would explain, and it was a good time, and I made friends that way. I still game with a couple of them on different titles, but they're good people. And so, in terms of the community, and in terms of, teamwork and all that, it's a very good, it's not a toxic environment. It's not like, going on PUBG or Halo when there's a new Halo release, or there's no screaming, there's no you're gonna get your intolerables, but mainly it's just, okay, hey, can you go for the legs? Can you heal? Hit him. He's down, throwing a net, etc., etc. Like, there's good, passionate communication towards the goal, and I think that is the highest praise that I can give this game, is that if you are doing this with a team or with friends, it is the best time that you can have. But if you're doing this by yourself, I don't recommend it. Just rent it for a couple days, see if you like it. If you like it from there and your friends are still playing, buy it. If not, just kind of see if the experience is for you, and you can take it back to a Redbox or, whatever rental service you use after 1 or 2 days. But, yeah. So, this has been this week's review of Saltwater Gaming. I know it's a little bit faster and a little bit shorter than what we're used to. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, and I promise that the normal format will come back. If you do have the chance to try out Monster Hunter New World, Monster Hunter World, something like that. And just let me know in the comments what you think about it. Are you a fan of the franchise? Have you been following it? Is this your first Monster Hunter game? Do you think the game was worth $60? Or do you think you would be wanting to pick it up for around, $30 or $40? So, let me know in the comments. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. And keep following for more episodes. I don't know what's coming up next week, so that's a mystery surprise episode. And, yeah. This has been Saltwater Gaming with Ellison Smith, and we will see you next week.